Hello everybody, my name is Samir Khan Amiri. In this video, I talk about asylum application and how to proceed your asylum interview successfully. First of all, asylum is for people who are not safe, who are in danger because of their race, religion, political affiliation, or connection. They need to apply for asylum. Asylum is not for social, financial, or other difficulties that people have. If you go for asylum application or for interview, in the asylum officer will ask you why. You can't say because I was unemployed. They say we can't ask all people who are unemployed in different countries come to the United States or Europe or any other country that you're applying for asylum. You have to provide security, safety reasons why you are applying, why you're not safe in your hometown. That's important to understand. The second thing that you need to understand, if you are safe, you're doing well, you have a career, you don't need to apply for asylum. Applying for asylum and moving to a new country, it doesn't guarantee always that you will have a better or greater life in a new country that you're moving. Because you will start everything from the bottom, you will have difficulties understanding the culture, the area, the language, you have to find a career, you have to buy a car, you have to find some place that you want to live, you have to have a greater amount of money to pay the bills. You need to make friends, all these points coming on your way that you may have difficulties to handle them out. So if you're doing well, don't get scammed by social media or YouTube, whether people or individuals who show off that either these countries are heaven. That's not true, right? In the same time, when you apply for asylum, make sure you name all, if you have underage kids or if your parents, your wife, your fiance, your husband, you name them in your case holiday. When they ask you, that will facilitate their case to come to the country that you're living in. You want them to live with you. You need to name them there and don't forget. If you don't, that will prolong their case to be proceeded. If you already live in the country that you're applying for asylum or you're living in your hometown, make sure you have a reliable phone number and email to respond on time and quickly and correctly. And when you are asked for a asylum interview, make sure you look professional, you dress well, you're confident, you're on time, you do not hesitate or delay your answers. When you're asked a question, make sure you have your answers prepared. If you delay or hesitate, the asylum officer will think that you're lying. You need to have your birth certificate, your passport, or any other relevant documents prepared and ready. And when you have moved to a new place or a new country, your high school that you graduate, your bachelor, master's, all details, where, when, why, how, all these details are important. You cannot just have a holistic point of view regarding your status. Sometimes, whenever the officer asks any details, you need to have the answers prepared and make sure you have everything prepared. If you think you can't proceed it yourself, you may hire an attorney, a legal representative that can represent you well. They have expertise and knowledge of proceeding other applications. You may hire an attorney if you can afford it. If you speak the language of the country that you're applying, that's well. If you're fluent, if you're not, so you better also seek for a language representative or like an interpreter or a translator where they can help you present yourself clearly and let the officer understand what you're talking about. But if you can't talk well, the officer may not get your point clearly, or you can't illustrate the events and incident that happened to you. That may kind of affect your case. That's important to understand it. And in the same time, be honest. Honesty is the best policy. And note down when you're asked questions and you provide answers. When you're done with the interview, when you get out of the room, take your phone's notes or any pen and paper and write them down, because for the next interview, for the second, or for your green card or for your citizenship interviews, if you are asked the same questions, the officer, they'll have their record your answers, and you provide different answers, like different names, different places, different dates for a particular question that they've already provided, they will think that you're lying. So you better note them down, and that will help you memorize and remember what you have already answered. And before going for any interview, make sure you have some consult with certain expertise or legal representative that they have experience, or any friend or family member that if all they went through these processes, they will give you certain tips and good points that how you can proceed this your asylum application. So before moving for or applying for asylum application, it's also important you cannot condemn and curse the nation that you're applying to live there through your Facebook or other social media. So make sure you control that. And in the same time, it's important to understand you need to have a personal testimony. What is a personal testimony for your asylum application? That's like an essay, a page that you write, you illustrate, you explain details of you, you introduce yourself and what happened to you, like a safety threatened, somebody threatened you, you were in danger, they were trying to kill you or persecute you or harm you physically or mentally, or family members, or they attacked you, or there is the possibility and the potential threats and attacks that may happen to you in the future, why this happened or why it's going to happen to you, who is threatening you, is that religion, race, ethnicity, or a political reason, or in the future will happen. You illustrate and explain all these details in that personal testimony or a statement on a paper, and you will submit it. It will be part of your asylum application. That will help the officer to understand you better. In the same time, make sure you have all the proofs, medical reports, police reports, security reports, or pictures, videos that you have already collected, and you need to collect them to be part of your application. Or you have any essay, or you have certain interviews, you have been social activist on social media, you have provide certain links for the videos. You need to have all these details provided that will back up your claims for your asylum application. In the same time, make sure you are aware of the criteria and conditions, and check if you are fitting for those criteria for that particular country that you're applying in the conditions. If you're not, you better provide certain more proofs, even though you think you're not 100% fit into those criteria, but still you may apply, and who knows, you may get it done. So also make sure you read about the culture that you live there, you want to live there, or about their language. That will help you have less culture shock or face less difficulties in the city that you want to live. So through consideration of all these points and techniques for if it's asylum interview, or if it is application that you're applying, and the proofs, the evidence that you provide regarding incidents or dangerous situations that you faced or you may face in the future, you can guarantee your asylum, and you may be safe living somewhere else.